Supervisor Richard Forster with your report from the Board of Supervisors meeting of Tuesday, October 23rd, 2012. Short agenda today, but as always, some interesting items. First up was discussion and possible action on further distribution of Measure M funds. As you might recall, the community at large voted by better than a 2/3 percentage to tax ourselves for local fire protection. That was a Measure M, and that was done now it's about 3 or 4 years ago, in that range. So we've been collecting money all that time, and the minimum distribution to fire districts in the county is $50,000. I believe there's a couple that get that minimum distribution, Lockwood being one of them, just based on per capita, but that is the minimum you can get regardless of how low your employment is, how low your residency is. Now, the problem is at the time of adoption of the ordinance that was created by the Board of Supervisors per the wishes of the fire community and the public, Kirkwood Fire Protection District opted out of that. This came from their board and their fire chief at that time. The new Rick, the new Kirkwood Fire District Chief, and the Assistant Operations Manager for the Kirkwood Public Utility District has brought us news that the Board of Directors have changed in opinion now, and they would like to be included in Measure M. You're looking at possibly minimum funding of $50,000 that would be pulled out of the pot to fund Kirkwood. And we don't want to summarily dismiss this because Kirkwood is part of the county, at least a portion of it is. There are homes there. There are some people that live there on a yearly basis. A lot of it is recreational. Also, the Kirkwood Fire Protection District serves 20 to 30% of their calls in Amador County, so they serve a lot of the recreational area all the way down to Silver Lake, and there are some residences. What ultimately happened at the board level is this was sent back to our County Administrative Officer, Chuck Eiley. More research is needed here. We need to look at exactly how much is served. Not to sound too differential or biased, but we don't want to serve a big part of Alpine County or El Dorado County and have our taxpayers paying for that service. So we need to keep our tax dollars that we collect locally and serve our local public, so we need to do that research. As well, another item was held over, and this is the decision as to the appointment of a clerk recorder in Amador County. Sheldon Johnson, our longtime clerk recorder for 34 years now, has made the decision that as of December 29, 2012, he will step down. He is making that decision based on some family issues that have come up, and I applaud him for doing that. There's things more important than politics and holding office sometimes, especially after the length of service that Sheldon has given to Amador County. He is recommending that Kim Grady, his deputy in the office, assume that position as of his December 29th retirement date. If that happens, she would fill the remainder of his term until the next election, where she would either decide to run for his position, or the board would make sure that she can go back to her existing position. So we would not fill that position, backfill behind. That seems to be the consensus of the meeting yesterday. But Sheldon Johnson had high praise for Kim Grady, and that knowledge of the office, of the policies and procedures, of her computer skills, intelligence, and knows the codes, basically knows the office very well. She served in the county recorder's office since 1994, been a 20-year employee as of 2013. That'll be her anniversary, and we will take that up at our next meeting and make a decision. We don't want to wait till the end of the year, so as of November 13th, we'll take that issue up and make a decision. Two other issues left. Consideration of a refuse rate adjustment for ACES. This is a 5-year rate review study. It's based on a RAM, or a rate adjustment methodology that's been created by the county along with our waste haulers. This takes into account all of the factors that go into the expenses that ACES must bear when they're operating their business. And the reason we do this is because they are in a franchise agreement with the county. But we look at things like compensation of the officer health insurance. We look at the fuel costs, the transfer station rates, overtime, bad debt, franchise fees. All of that goes into making up this methodology, coming up with rates that they will implement. The board, in the meeting yesterday, sent forward a recommendation of the option 2, which is actually the ACE's option of averaging out the 2 transfer stations, Pine Grove and Buena Vista, and sending forth the rates for franchise area 1. It would be a decrease of almost 2%, franchise area 3, decrease of almost 2%, and area 2, which is Comanche, an increase of about 7.5% based on litigation that was held with East Bay Mud. The other action, you'll have to go to the board office. This was a letter the board authorized to Kathy Hardy, the Forest Supervisor for U.S. Forest Service. And with that, 223-6470, this is Supervisor Richard Forster. Call the office if you have any questions. We're going to a break now.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.